So every instance has its own email address. Okay. Our topic for today is inbound actions. Okay. As we have already discussed, in any table, if you want to create a record, you can create a record in multiple ways. Okay. Suppose if you want to create a record on problem table. Okay. So you can create a record from the user interface. You also can create a record from the scripting. You can create a record using record producer. You can create a record from the virtual agent. You can create a record from the service portal. There are multiple ways where you can actually create a record on any table. Okay. So likewise, you can actually create a record whenever you send an email to ServiceNow email address. As we have already discussed, every ServiceNow instance has its own email address. Okay. So whenever you send an email to that particular email address, it will actually create a record on ServiceNow table. Hope this is clear for everyone. Okay. So how do you check the email address of ServiceNow instance? You will have to navigate to email accounts. Okay. So in the email accounts, here you will open ServiceNow SMTP. Okay. If you open ServiceNow SMTP, here you will be able to find this is the email address of ServiceNow platform. So this is actually combination of your instance name, which is actually this one, dev88924. dev88924 at the rate servicenowdevelopers.com. This is the email address. Okay. Hope this is clear for everyone. Okay. So now you understand the email address of ServiceNow. Okay. So you will go to your Gmail. I am going to log into my Gmail here. Okay. Okay. So now what you do is you will actually send an email to ServiceNow email address. What is ServiceNow email address, guys? This is the ServiceNow email address. You will actually send an email to ServiceNow email address. You will keep the subject here. You will, okay. So here, create a problem record. Okay. Okay. So now you will actually click on send here. Now you have sent an email to ServiceNow. You have sent an email to ServiceNow, this ServiceNow instance. So how do we check whether the email is received to ServiceNow or not? So under system logs, you will find a module called emails. So you will just type emails. You will just click on emails here. So did it receive? So here type you will actually keep it as received. Email is not received. It will take little a while. It will take a while. Let it come. We'll wait for some time. So usually it takes some time. So do you think as soon as it receives the email, it will create a problem record? No. So it will not actually create a problem record as soon as ServiceNow receives the email. So what exactly we do is we will have to create an inbound action. We'll have to create inbound action. Hope you are able to understand. It has taken too much time. We will see whether the mail has been sent or not. So it has actually sent an email. Mail is in sent list. So we have to check whether it is in received list or not. Okay, it hasn't received. I know the reason why exactly it is not received. Okay, so there is a concept called email properties. Email properties. In the email properties, you will have to enable email receiving enable. Okay, now ServiceNow will actually receive the email. Okay, so there is another property called email sending enable. So sending from ServiceNow, if you want to send an email from ServiceNow to outside, you will check this checkbox. If you want to receive this email, you will actually check this checkbox, email receiving enable. Now, what am I going to do is, I am going to send the email again. I am going to copy this one. Okay. So now, we will actually check whether the email is received or not. So usually it will take some time. Hmm. So we will have to wait for few more minutes and then we'll have to check that. Hmm. ServiceNow has received the email. So this is the email that I have actually sent from my Gmail address. Okay. This is the email address that I have actually sent from my email address. So is this the one or something else? This is the one. Right? ServiceNow received the email from my email address. Okay. Suppose if you are not the company employee, if you are not the company employee, but you are sending an email, still you are sending an email to ServiceNow instance, it should not create a record, right? So that is where email access restriction. Okay. So here you will actually specify the condition. You will specify the condition here. Okay. Based on which the email restriction will happen. Email access restriction. Okay. So see email access restrictions define visibility to sensitive email records generated by a notification. Read access to an email record generated by the defined notification will be granted only if conditions are defined and evaluated true. So if you are actually sending an email, if you are actually sending an email from someone else's account and it should not create a record in ServiceNow platform, then you will use email access restriction. Okay. And now we have concept called inbound email action. Before that, we will actually discuss email properties in detail. So usually email notification sending will be enabled only in the production instance. In the developer instance, they will not enable email sending enabled. They will not actually check this checkbox in the development environment or testing environment. They will only check this checkbox in the production environment. So here you can actually check this checkbox, email receiving enabled in all the environments, but it has to be enabled only in the production environment. So suppose if you have to test notifications, then you are supposed to enable you are supposed to enable email sending enabled, right? In that case, you will check this checkbox, you will specify your email address here. All the outgoing emails from ServiceNow will actually send an email, right? Those all emails will be sent to this udayshore522@gmail.com. Okay. Here, right, ServiceNow can also identify whether the email is new email or forwarded email or replied email. ServiceNow can identify that. So identify email as reply by the subject prefixes. If the email subject contains RE colon, AW colon, accepted colon, tentative colon, declined colon, if you see something like this one, ServiceNow will identify this is actually a replied email. If the subject contains FW, FWD, ServiceNow will identify that is actually a forwarded email. Okay. So likewise, we have roles that can view email in the activity formatter when including sent or received any emails. Okay. So likewise, you can actually arrange your properties. Okay. So I have to create a problem record, right? So for that, what I have to do is I have to go to inbound email actions. So not inbound email actions, inbound actions. Okay. I'm going to create a new inbound action. So here you are supposed to select action type as record action. There is another action type that is actually reply. Reply email in record action. So here we are actually creating record, right? We will actually select record action. If you want to send a reply email, automatic replies, you can select a reply email. Okay. So I am going to select, I am selecting active. Okay. What is the table name that we have to use to create a record? On which table we have to create a record? So we are going to create a record on problem table, right? Okay. Here on the new email only it has to create a new record. On the replied email, forwarded email, it should not actually create a record. That is why I'm actually selecting new here. Okay. So remember guys, whatever the email that is actually sending an email, right? That email should be part of user table. In the user table, user should have the email, right? User will have email, right? That email should be part of user email address. Okay. ServiceNow will identify whether that email address person has respective role or not. If that person has respective role, only then this inbound action has to be triggered, means you will select the role. Okay. So we have execution order here. So we have actually three inbound email actions, three inbound actions on the same table. On the same table, you have actually three inbound actions. So which has to run first? So based on the order, it will actually run first. Order with the lowest action will run first. So here I'm actually keeping conditions. So you can actually keep two type of conditions: simple and advanced one. Advanced in the sense you will write scripting. Simple one, you will actually keep something like subject contains. Okay. Create a problem. Subject contains create a problem. In the actions, so here you guys have to remember two things. One is current object, one is email object. So these are the two things that you guys have to remember. Current object refers to this table fields, as we all know. This email object refers to whatever the email that you are actually sending. That email object refers to that email. Okay. So what I do is, where is the problem record? Okay. So what I do is, for the time being, I'm actually providing short description and description. Okay. Current dot. Short description is equal to, okay, email dot subject. Okay. So whatever the email subject that you are sending, right? That part you are keeping in a short description. Okay. Whatever the body that you are sending, email body, right? That email body, you are going to keep it in body underscore email dot body underscore text. Okay. So here, right, you will use current dot insert. Current dot insert. Now what I do is I will actually change the order as 5, because if there are any other inbound actions on the problem table with the same order, so we may get impacted. So that is why what I do is I will actually change the order to 5. At any cost, this is the inbound action that will be triggered. Okay. So now you are able to understand, right, how to create the record using email. So I have actually created an inbound action. Now I go to my email. What is the subject that we have actually selected here? Subject that we have to create, we have to create a problem. If the subject contains create a problem, I have sent an email to ServiceNow. Now we will actually check whether our email is received in the ServiceNow instance or not. So it hasn't received it. Did you guys notice one thing here? User ID is actually showing system administrator. Why exactly it is showing system administrator? How exactly system is identifying it is system administrator has sent an email? The system administrator email address is Uday Consultancy Services 53@gmail.com. Okay. Now it would have received the email. See, it has received the email. So if you take a look at here, the problem record is created here. If I open the problem record here, you guys will be able to understand. So email subject is actually there in a short description. Email body is there in description. So I have actually used only two fields, short description and description. So if you want to fill other fields as well, you can use them. Okay, hope you are clear, everyone. So remember guys one thing, every time when you send an email with the subject, it will actually create a new problem record. Likewise, if you want to create a record on any table, likewise, if you want to create a record on any table, it can be incident, problem, case, or major issue or issue, any table, it will create a record whenever you send an email. Only thing that you are supposed to do is you are supposed to create an inbound email action like this one. If you want to create a record on incident table, you will select incident table here. If you want to create a problem, you will select problem. If you want to create a change request, you will create a change request. So likewise, you will be creating a record whenever you send an email to ServiceNow instance. Hope this is clear for everyone. So we understand how to create a record using by sending an email. So we can also update the record as well. To update the record, system has to understand which record has to be updated. Okay. So to understand that, so if you want to update the record, system has to update, system has to understand which record has to be updated. Okay. So there is a concept called watermark. Watermark. Do you guys know what is watermark? Yeah. Okay. So if you go to the emails, if you see send ready, if you preview this one, the one which you are seeing here is actually called watermark. Okay. So this is actually outbound email. Outbound email means ServiceNow is actually sending an email. ServiceNow is not receiving email. ServiceNow sending an email. In this email, we have watermark. When you reply this email, right, automated email, whatever the email that you have received, if you reply that email, okay, what exactly will happen is that the target record will be updated using this watermark. This watermark can identify which record we can actually update. Okay, which record we can actually update. Hope this is clear for everyone. Suppose you don't have watermark. That is not actually a ServiceNow generated email. ServiceNow generated emails will have watermark. Rest of them will not have watermark. Okay. So if you are sending an email to ServiceNow platform to update one record, so ServiceNow has to understand which record do we have to update. So we are actually sending an email by composing to update the record, but we don't have watermark. So without watermark, system will not be able to identify which record has to be updated. So now what I do is I will actually create a new, I will actually create a, I will actually send a new email to ServiceNow platform. So, suppose if you want to update this record, okay, okay. So we have the number. We have the number. Using that number, we can actually update the record. Okay, this particular record number has to be this particular, for this particular record, we have to update something. So now, right, what I do is I will actually create another inbound action. Okay. So this is also on the problem table. Active checkbox. So you can either keep it as new or forward. I'm just keeping new. Subject is not empty. Okay. So here in the actions, what you can do is where gr is equal to new glide record. So which record do you do, which table record do we have to update? Problem. Gr dot add query. We are actually querying with the number, comma, email dot subject. Email subject has number, right? We are querying with the subject. So gr dot query. Okay. So gr dot description is equal to email dot body underscore text. Gr dot update, which will actually update the description. I'm going to create one. Okay. I'm going to send an email here. Okay. Here, right, we will have to check whether ServiceNow has received the email address or not. We will have to check whether this description is updated or not. Description has to be updated. Okay. So we will see whether it is updating this description or not. So we have sent an email, ServiceNow has to receive that email and it has to trigger the inbound action. That inbound email action, it has to query the problem table and it has to query the record. And after the querying, it has to update this record. So you understand the transition, right? So that is how you will actually create a record whenever you send an email. That is how you will update a record whenever you send an email. Okay. So we will refresh this one, whether it is updated or not. It hasn't updated. So we will check whether the email is received or not. Email is not received yet. So we will check whether it is sent properly or not. We have sent it. It hasn't received it. It has received. We will check whether it is updated or not. It has updated. You guys are able to understand the transition, right? So likewise, you will be creating the records, you will be updating the records whenever you send an email to ServiceNow platform. Okay. So email notifications is actually an interesting topic. We have inbound emails, we have outbound emails. The notifications topic that we have already discussed is actually comes under outbound emails. Outbound means from ServiceNow, if it is actually going outside, that is actually called outbound. If ServiceNow is actually receiving, this is actually called inbound. So if you remember this terminology, it will make your life easy in integrations. Inbound, outbound. Inbound means ServiceNow is receiving. Outbound means ServiceNow is sending. Hope this concept is clear for you guys. Okay. Yeah. Thank you guys.